You could argue that simplicity started in like 2010, 2011, when Russell O'Connor was first talking about MAST on the Bitcoin Talk forums. And MAST is the premise where you have a whole bunch of different scripts and you just reveal the one that you want to use. And this eventually made its way into Taproot like 10 years later, more than 10. The idea behind simplicity is arguably like, what if you took this MAST concept and you just designed a whole programming language where the whole language is this tree or actually a DAG of different kind of subprograms that you're clipping together. And the way you would turn it into a whole programming language is by saying, well, rather than just doing MAST, where if you got two programs and you're taking one or the other, this sort of, you can think of this as conditional composition. What if every form of composition work this way? What if you would also use a Merkle tree to describe two programs that you're composing directly, where you take the output of one and the input of the other? What if you used it for composing two programs that you were running in parallel, where you're doing both of these things on the same input and then combining their outputs so much? What if we were to use this if you were combining these things recursively, where somehow a program could go back and call itself? It turns out that if you have all those ways of combining things, then your actual base program that you start with can be dead simple. You can get away with these two little functions, the identity and the unit. And so that's where the 9 combinators come from, by the way. You have the identity, you have the unit. So you could argue that simplicity has been happening for well over 10 years, but technically simplicity started, I think, in 2014 or 15 or so, when Russell joined Blockstream and started working on simplicity full time. So it has been a very long journey from getting simplicity from basically a half-baked white paper to a full white paper, a full tech report, multiple implementations, and a deployment on a production chain.